While the world is busy obsessing over Ruby-chan on TikTok, it's so easy to get distracted. You wake up early, thinking maybe today's the day you figure out what you want to do with your life, but nothing really comes up. So you scroll like Ruby-chan, K-pop, everyone else's life. This video is about breaking that loop and getting clarity for yourself so you can stop living someone else's story. This channel is about being your own first penguin, taking the first small step even when no one else is moving. I talk about building an undefeatable system to help live your story by documenting your journey, getting to know yourself, and stacking small wins one step at a time. By the way, here's my top 3 favorite restaurants in Tokyo.
Why is he talking to himself?
So have you ever felt this weird feeling where life looks fine on the outside, but inside you feel very off? You've got a decent job, nice, decent brands that you're working for that everyone knows about, and you're getting, that little promotion step by step, but somehow you're missing something. You're feeling kind of monotonous, a little disconnected, not broken, but misaligned, and there's yourself that is accepting this unbearable truth. I wasn't living my story that I wanted. I didn't even know what my story even looked like. And I was following one that looked acceptable to me, but it was not my story at all. So naturally, when you're not feeling so good, you try to fix it. It's like you go on a new to-do list and then try to do better planning, try something new, color-coded apps, all that kind of productivity hacks and stuff like that. But somehow the more you try to control it, the more lost it feels to you. I don't know if you get this kind of a feeling, but it's like you're managing the chaos, but not really rewriting the story that you're trying to go into. You end up productive, but directionless. Doing a lot, but still unsure where it's taking you. Speaking of where it's taking you, I recently love to go to this sushi standing place before going to Haneda. It's becoming one of my routines. The nodoguro, it's amazing.
No one even asked him about it.
So when you're not very sure, you don't know what you're really doing, to actually write it down. I was hearing a lot about journaling, how journaling and documentation of your thoughts and everything will help you get that clarity in your life. I try to do that every day, but sometimes I just had nothing to write about, and I was getting really stuck about why is it not coming out of my brain. So that's when I realized my thought process was not triggered at all. So something that I learned from being in a management consulting is that we are always asked to question. It's power of question help you trigger the process, and our life is one project as well, and if you don't ask question, it becomes very difficult for you to trigger your own thought process. So let's say I love Ruby-chan. What we should say is, do I really love Ruby-chan? Why do I love it? That kind of a questioning why, and questioning really matters. That kind of help you trigger. Oh, it's I love Ruby-chan, but maybe I like Ayumi-chan more. That kind of triggering your thought process by actually putting that question mark in every statement that you make for yourself in your brain. But writing didn't really help me at the end, so I just stacks of journaling, I just checked it away. Then that's when Notion was coming into the picture, where everyone was talking about Notion and then started writing. It's widely introduced as the second brain that people use, right? And then that's how I started typing more on the Notion, and with the questions, I started to naturally write more and kind of express my thoughts, what other problems am I facing, and why do I feel the way I do now? What did I do to make my girlfriend so angry today? So switching from handwriting to typing actually made a lot of difference. And I could flow more easily, think faster, and worry less about sounding smart actually. When you feel like you're not articulating your thoughts, what Notion gave me was that I still needed to articulate on my own. I think it takes a practice to articulate well on, especially on the feelings or thoughts. Like the feelings you have, it's not very crystallized and well articulated in your brain, right? So that's the issue I was kind of going through during that time, even when Notion was coming out. Switching from handwriting to typing helped me a lot in a different way. I'll show a little bit more about journaling tips on Notion later on. As soon as I started typing out and documenting my journal, documenting my thought process, I started to come to a questioning conclusion of whose life was I even living? Like that's when I started questioning everything, like not just what I wanted to do, but who I wanted to be. I didn't work on the resolution of who I wanted to be. I realized a lot of the goals I had weren't really mine, and they were things I picked up from social media or success stories or all the parents' generations or other friends around you. But deep down, they didn't feel like me at all. Like when you talk about being a business owner, you might just think about hiring somebody or going on the stock market to make that unicorn grows and all that kind of thing. But in this world, there's so many people that live very differently. You can be a one-man, self-employed, one-man businesses that you don't need to connect with, other people or try to hire people, because why you need to hire people is because you need the labor. But now with the AI and everything, AI and all the systems and tools, it's totally possible to go on a self-employed or a one-man business as well. And that way you become time flexible, location flexible, and financially more flexible as well in a way, right? That's like one example that I realized. So I didn't need motivation. I didn't need more motivation, like motivation videos or the productivity hacks and everything. What I needed was reconnection with my own voice. I was scrolling on social media one day and I found this, I think, Indonesian entrepreneur. He also does type to journal and then type everything into his points. He puts every detail into Notion or other documentation. And then what he does at the end of the week is to dump everything into ChatGPT or whatever generative AI to help you summarize in terms of your mental health, where you're trying to go, what is your situation now. And then I started to realize, okay, that's a really smart way to create a system that you can input and then let ChatGPT to have this one output that you output with the prompt that you specify. So I started to apply these ideas into my own system where I use my Notion to clarify the thoughts and then put every thought in there, dump everything into ChatGPT, or sometimes when I'm not articulating my thoughts very well, I try to talk to ChatGPT to help me articulate or just bring me hypothesis of what I'm thinking. It's not good to rely on everything that ChatGPT say, but most of the time they have a very clear crystallization of wordings and sentences. When you're not making too much progress, sometimes you just don't have a question to ask. Even in those small moments, it's like your thought process is like stopped again. It's not functioning. And in that time, you're kind of like waiting for your motivation to rise again. So you start by asking ChatGPT what's happening, what's going on. This is how I'm feeling now. Start small with how you're feeling today, right? And like every small things that happened yesterday or today, that is, you can just dump into ChatGPT to help you become your thinking partner for yourself. And yeah, the best part is ChatGPT won't judge you and they're relatively more positive. So it kind of brings your self-worth and it brings you a very optimistic and positive impact to you. When you're stuck, instead of running into Sukiya for big karabi gyudon, just sit down, chat with AI to help you initiate the thought process. Started building this kind of second brain, but not for productivity, but also for clarity for myself. I started to build a kind of a principle or my 2025 vision, something that I have on top of my strategy, what I realize is it's really great to have structure and a system in your Notion, like a database with different tag. So how I normally do is I'll show you here. I want to be able to just click new, just open a new page. You just write everything you need and then just kind of categorize it into different parts. As part of the foundation, I do journaling to kickstart, write about anything that I feel about. A journal tag on my database on the top line. And then what I do is just dump everything, like whatever, when I realize something, when I have an insight, try to articulate it on my own. But sometimes when you're not articulating, go on ChatGPT and then try to summarize it and then kind of copy it back to ChatGPT. I'm sure there's like another way you can also use Notion AI to do that, but I prefer using ChatGPT on this. I recently watched this Netflix show that really encouraged me to continue what I do every day now. And I decided to, even all these screenshots, I'll put it up here to keep the documentation and then also to motivate myself in a way. It's like a replacement of my PowerPoints and all the documentation that I send to my clients. So like I would just, generate a website and then I'll share this. I'll share this with a link. People will see it and you can make constant changes here. So that's a really good one. And then for other categories, I put things like YouTube, and I also do like my businesses that I'm trying to work on. What are my progresses? You can open a new page or you can just put everything into that one pager as well, depending on how you like it. I like to get this feeling of like, stacking up small habits. So I like to open a new page every time, and then, you can just filter it through your monthly, filter it with period as well, like May 1 to May 31st. Yeah, and then like, you can stack up all these different tags. If you're feeling like you're doing too many on your plates, you should remove some of them to focus. And if you feel like some of them are just blank, then it's something that you want to reflect and try to work it on and reprioritize and see what is more important for you. Yeah, I think what this really did to me is that I started to have chains of little habits in me. Like I feel like going to the gym at 4 p.m. is my daily routine now, from Monday to Friday, 4 times a week. This is someone I want to be in near future. So today, what is that person that I want to achieve is actually doing today, is how I started to think. And then now going to the gym at 4 p.m. became a natural habit for me. And that also affects the way I work before and after as well. Let me know what you think about this, and then if there's any better way, I'm so open to improve it. Actually, I want to do a voice mode to make it even better, to like stack my task and all the ideas, dump it into Notion, but I'm gonna save that for the next time. Please keep me posted on likes, comments, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.